friends, welcome to the 6th episode of Little Green Gem. If you're new here, I'm so glad that you found my videos, and if you're not new here, thank you so much for joining me again. My name is Megan, and today I'm going to talk about the plants that I forget about, but that I shouldn't. Sometimes plants get lost in your collection, especially if you have a large collection, but they don't deserve that. So maybe it's because it wasn't a plant you were looking for, so you just kind of forget that you got it for free somewhere, or it's a plant that's not doing much, so you're just not looking at it, so it's not putting anything out for you. Or maybe, I don't know, I forget my other reasons that I forget plants. The ADHD is really doing its thing. So I'm going to take you around to my collection, inside, outside, bathroom, kitchen, everywhere, and I'm going to show you the plants that I forget about. Let's go. So if you like plants, you're in the right place. I don't know what that was. I think that I pretty much know what's out here, but I'm sure we can find some things that I forget about. A cacti. There's probably some things over here. I keep a good eye on these just because they're outside, and so I want to make sure that I'm not underwatering things or forgetting about them, but I'm sure I do forget about some stuff. I do forget about these honey-eye jade sansevieria, just because I've had them for a long time. Let's see. Oh yeah, over 2 years ago, and they were propagating, they're making their little babies for a while for me, and then I think during the underwatering time, they dry rotted, and so they were rehabbing in there. They look, I might need to check into those roots and see what's going on with them. What else do we have? I know I forget about this Ripsalis. It was a gift from a friend. We did a swap and she put him in there because I've been interested in the Ripsalis lately, but she didn't know what the name of it was. And I do tend to forget about things when they're no ID because I don't know what they are. So I kind of forget about them in my collection. So if anybody knows what this one is, let me know. I do forget about these guys over here. This Sansevieria cylindrica, it was doing really well for me for a while, but it definitely needs a repot. It's been neglected for sure. Can do some stuff with that. I forget about this lipstick plant, although it's super cool and curly. That's why I got it, because she's a curly girl like me, and now the leaves are falling off, so I don't know if it's overwatered or what. I do need to get in there and look at that. That's really it outside. I remember everybody else. Unfortunately, I forget about this gorgeous Scindapsus jade, mainly because it's in this window and it faces the window. So the beautiful cascading foliage, big leaves, they're facing the window, and I don't see them as much because I only see the back of it. And it's all green, so I think it's just not as interesting as some of these other plants like this Monstera Peru with its gorgeous textured leaves, and also this Mount Salic. It's just so pretty. It reminds me of like an owl's wing or a feather, but it's been struggling for a while, so I pay a lot of attention to it because I need to see what it's doing. I somehow forget about my curly girls, and I really shouldn't. This curly ivy, I bought it specifically because we are curly girls. I'm not a huge fan of ivy. I never really understood its care, but look, a little neglected. But she's super cute. Put her in this disco ball, but she again is by a window. I don't forget about this one, my lemon lime philodendron. But I do forget about the curly, and I think it's just because it doesn't need a lot of care. It minds its own business. Oh, I forgot one by the kitchen window. I'll be right back. This is my moss ball, and again, he sits in the window. His name is Sir Moss-a-Lot. I don't change the water as much as I should, nor do I come and stir him around so that he can kind of like roll on the rocks and stay formed. He gets neglected. Okay, we're back. So I've had this curly locks ivy since December of 2023. I started my journey in April of 2023 when I bought my house. That's a story for another day. I would love to say that there's nobody that I forget over on this small shelf. But I do forget about my super bum, or superbum, I have heard it called. It's an anthurium and it's gorgeous, very textured. I think I forget about it because it's not doing anything. When I first bought it a couple months ago when I was in Tennessee, in May, I transferred it from the soil into this semi-hydro situation. I did fill the water kind of up to here. The roots were a little bit higher and it grew down in. So it is growing some water roots. You know, I don't know if it's got something going on there or if that's just mineral buildup. That might be why it's not growing. I didn't see that from the front. Okay, well, that's definitely something I'm going to look into because honestly, the only other plant that I have in LECA is doing the same thing. I'll show you that. Hold on. This is my Anthurium forgetii. And at first I thought it was just mineral buildup because I hadn't flushed the LECA. Oh goodness, it's being caught. Oh, my clarinervium. Okay, hold on. I don't want to hurt her. That's a new leaf. A relatively new leaf. Not hardened off yet. Okay. I thought it was just mineral buildup at first. And then I noticed these leaves are not doing well at all, especially this one. So I'm very inclined to think that it might actually be something fungal in here, and it might be due to the LECA, and maybe I haven't been giving it enough airflow. So I will be looking into that for both of those anthuriums very shortly. But this one doesn't get forgotten because it is in my bathroom in this nice little space. Same thing with this. I don't know if I really forget about anybody on here because I do look at these shelves a lot. Maybe this Hilo Beauty, just because it is so kind of tucked out of the way. And I got it recently in May when I went to Tennessee. So, but I see it. I don't think I would mention it. I don't think I would remember to mention it in my alocasias if you ask me which alocasias I have. Everybody else, I think I would remember. Same thing with the tent. I think I'm just in here too much to forget about anything that's in here. I'm pretty sure I would remember all of them. Because these are either new plants or rehab plants, swap plants. These are all things that I keep an eye on a pretty good bit. I would forget this ninja corm here, honestly, because I did get 2 of them. I did get 2 of them from a friend, and this one sprouted really well, and this one has not. So I might forget about that corm. I have a couple of silver dragon corms as well. This is where we're going to see some forgetage, I'm sure. This is my cabinet. I feel like everybody over here is pretty safe. These guys are all pretty safe. These are pretty safe. I would probably forget my Bruno tricolor because it was a free gift and it was actually a taller cutting than this, but it had reverted. So she sent me this whole big cutting and she said, I don't know if it'll come back. You know, I would chop and prop it and see what happens. So I did chop and prop it. This one has some new growth in there. I'm not sure if they're going to be variegated or not. Oh, there it is. I'm not sure if it's going to be variegated. And then I feel like that one had a set of new leaves that I knocked off when I was potting them up, but I don't know if those were going to be variegated either. They looked solid color, but I'm not sure because I haven't seen the baby leaves grow out yet. So we shall see on that. Pretty safe, pretty safe, pretty safe. I do know that I forget about this latifolia again because it was a free one and it doesn't do much, but it did grow this leaf. I never put a tag in it when I first got it. It was a latifolia, no ID. And so I think I just stuck it in to propagate and just to see what would happen. And it's not doing much, but it is gorgeous. So I shouldn't forget about that one. There are some in the back, but I still keep a pretty good eye on them, so they're not ones that I forget. I probably forget about this peperomia, and I really, really shouldn't because it's so gorgeous, but it just minds its own business, and I don't have to do anything with it. And I did get it recently, yeah, April of this year, so, but it's gorgeous. These are literally top shelf of my cabinet. So they are sometimes out of sight, but usually not out of mind. Perhaps the Aldrichii, just because it's been doing not much of anything for a long time. Not too long, March of this year, but it is putting out a tendril. And hopefully I'll get some leaves. But the rest of these, I really keep a good eye on them all the time. Just because I'm very interested in their growth and what else is going on with them. Keep an eye on their substrates and stuff. Some of them are still not transferred to pond. So I think that's about it. Those are the ones I forget about. I missed one again. I definitely forget about that unicata, and only for the fact that it doesn't need me. It's grown one leaf since I've had it in April of this year, but it does have a tendril, so I don't think that it needs. Oh, literally the australis leaf turned the camera around. So we're gonna go back. It's got a tendril. I don't think it needs anything. I think it's just establishing itself and it's gonna be fine. I'm obviously a forgetter because I forgot to do my bathroom. I got distracted by the forgetty eye and didn't even look at the plants that are in here that I obviously forget. These guys at the top. It's mostly out of sight, out of mind, but this philodendron cream splash is so pretty, but neglected. I definitely need to do something with it where it gets more water because it hasn't grown for me at all in the couple months that I've had it. And this Anthurium, no ID. It grows. It hasn't bloomed for me yet. She didn't know what color the flowers were. I think they're potentially purple, which is my favorite color, but I did forget about that. I think I'm going to stop saying I think everybody else is safe because obviously nobody is safe from my ADHD. These are everybody in sulfur, and I do know that there's a couple of smaller cuttings that I got from friends that I do forget about sometimes. just because they weren't on my wish list at the time, or they haven't grown, so I just kind of don't really think about them much. This Polita and Rigidifolia for sure. I do forget about this Geneve, but they're really cool plants, and I'm hoping that after the sulfur treatment, they'll just explode with growth. That would be super cool. That's all I've got for you today. Just a quick little video, a couple of plants here and there that I forget about. Please let me know in the comments what plants you forget about and why. I'd really love to hear why other people forget plants, because they might be reasons that are different than mine, or they might be the same as mine. So go ahead and like this video if you learned something new or if you found something interesting. Comment about your plants, anything that you forget about, or anything that you would like to see me make videos about. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any more content from me. I have a lot of ideas coming, but I'd love to hear what you would like to see. So have a great day, and I'll see you in the next episode.